Okay, so it is Jeff from the Tome Show. I got the box that I usually get for review stuff from Wizards of the Coast today for the Rime of the Frost Maiden, or I was presuming it was Rime of the Frost Maiden. And then I peeled the tape off and looked inside and realized there's a lot more going on here than just a book. So I thought, hey, it'd be fun if we did a short little unboxing video. So here we are, and I've got my helper here that's going to help me take care of things as well. Also, the dog is in the room chewing on toys, so if you hear that, that's what's going on. So, box got a little beat up on the shipping, but hopefully everything inside is okay. So I open it up, and this is what I'm greeted with when I first opened it up, and I'm like, oh, there is a lot more going on here than just the books that are normally in there for my review copies. So, yeah, I thought this might be worth looking into in some detail and digging through and seeing what's there. So, here we are. First of all, we have the Rime of the Frost Maiden dice and miscellany set. Assistant, do we have scissors or something down here? In the drawer, where my knee is. Okay.
Here you go.
Thank you. So let me open that to get the plastic off of there. And then I can hand the trash to the assistant. That's what good assistants are there for, right? He says no? Okay, so hard plastic case that we can get rid of. And it looks very similar to the setup before. I do like those dice, though. Man, they've come a long ways in the dice. I don't know if you can catch that it's all sparkly.
Yeah.
There. They've come a long ways on the dice. I go back to what was one of the early dice sets that when they first started doing the dice sets to go with things, they did the Tome of Annihilation dice, and the Tome of Annihilation dice are just sort of this olive drab green, and they didn't feel very special, but they've done much better lately. These dice, I really like the look of these. They're just really shiny and sparkly and different colors going on in there. To give you a contrast, the Descent into Avernus dice don't have the cool sparkle thing going on, but it's thematically colored and all of that. So let's take the dice out and see what else is in the miscellany set, because ultimately, while the dice are cool, I've got way more dice than I know what to do with. So finding out what's going on here. Hold that a second.
Yep.
Yeah, so the same sort of box they've been using lately, which are really nice. They're sort of felt lined and sort of make nice little dice trays when you need a dice tray. As options there as well. Let me dump the dice into the tray and get rid of the plastic trash. No, you're gonna handle the whole thing. Okay, so then you've got all the cards and things. This is the miscellany that they've started putting in these dice sets as well. I've got the Laurel Silverhand Sword Coast one over here. Descent into Avernus had a bunch of cool things in it as well. I have all these things over here instead of at my game table for some reason, even though they would be much more useful at the game table. So let's see what we have. So the first card of the bunch is this Drist card, which I'm a little confused by, because it's got nothing on the back, whereas all the other ones have sort of an image on the front and then some lore or what have you on the back of them. I guess so it looks like it's because the idea is that the lore on the back is all written by Drist, so this is just sort of an intro, the forward, I guess, to the set. And so then you've got all these neat art pieces that you can show off to your players of all these different things that show up in the adventure. A bloody albino moose. See if there's anything else particularly interesting in there. The Chwingas, sort of spirit creatures. Frost giant on a mammoth. That's always fun. Skeleton, kobolds, ice trolls. Old bitey. So different things that you might run into as well, not just creatures and people, but other things as well. That's cool art for a Remoraz. I like that. Snowy owlbear. People of Tin Towns, of Arbig, Yeti. And then a card for, is this for, well, there's a D&D Beyond thing on the back. Oh, there's a set of figures, a Drist and Guinevere set of figures being advertised there. And then information about how the adventure and things are lined up to go with what's available in D&D Beyond. And then, what is oftentimes very useful, map of the region that would work to help you with the adventure is a nice little handout, including specific location maps on the back. Cool. Cool. I should be paying attention over here to see if we have anybody actually in the stream. This was an unexpected. I think the only person in the stream is my other son, but that's fine because the video will also go up on YouTube later. So you very well may be just watching this there. This is interesting. There's these little tokens, and I'm not sure what they are. They're in little Ziploc baggy sort of things, but I'm inclined to not care about the plastic, so I'm just going to cut it open. Because I can't figure out how to open the Ziploc bag real fast anyway. Take the trash, please. Thank you. Oh, okay. That is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a little inspiration token. It is not. It's one of the little like phone pop socket things. With a D&D ampersand sort of colored to go along sort of with the Rime of the Frost Maiden theme. So that's neat. Neat little pop socket accessory.
Well, you can use that.
Sure. There's also a dice bag colored and themed to go along with the adventure. And I hear dice inside. That's a neat set too. It's got one of the giant D20s, and then other regular size. I'm not sure how this sort of orangey amber color sort of matches the theme of the adventure, but it's a cool dice set, and I do like the D20s being the sort of extra sized D20s. I'm a big fan of the dice sets where the dice... And that is a big dice bag, too. That'll hold a lot of dice.
But you don't need
I don't usually... Well, no, I don't need more dice. I have plenty of dice.
Yeah.
So then you have... I've got a couple of these in here, too. They're sort of Rime of the Frost Maiden cover. So it's themed for it. But when I open it up, it looks like it's just like small graph paper. Yeah, and that's what it is all the way through, which would make a great sort of gaming journal to take notes in for your campaign, or draw. You can draw little pictures or maps on it if you need to, but you can also use it to sort of keep track of NPCs and all that kind of stuff. There's a second one here. I imagine it's probably it's the same thing. So there's two. I got two of those in there. But that's a neat little thing. If you want something that's thematically connected to the adventure to hang on to, and if not, what D&D player can't use another little notebook to keep notes in and keep track of things, or just jot down monster hit points or what have you. I like that it's spiral bound like that with the individual spiral, so it'll lay flat nicely without getting tangled up and caught and things. So that seems like it could be be fun. Certainly not something I would go out of my way to make sure I got if I was running the adventure, but something that would definitely be useful, and it's nice to have things like that I'm going to use at every game session that is also D&D themed. So this is the press release that's always in these. So that's fine. And then I think it's books.
Book time.
So we will both on the stream here and then later on the audio as a podcast will be coming out, and we will look at these books we'll do our sort of first look review of the book very shortly. I'm trying to see if I can get it arranged already next week with some folks to do a sort of first look talk through the book, and then hopefully several months from now we'll know some people that have played it, have run through it, and then we'll do our sort of deep dive, not just what's in it and what does it look like, but and what do we think it's going to play like. How do we think it's going to run at the table, but what were people's actual experiences running it at the table? So we have 2 copies of the book, the alternative cover, which I usually send the alternative covers to my co-host Tracy. They're really cool looking. Early on in 5th edition, I wasn't sure if they would keep making them or if they would stay a consistent look. And some of them haven't been exactly a consistent look, so I've always kept the standard cover. Given this to her, she doesn't get all the review copies that I get, so I like to share the extra special things with her anyway. And then all of mine sort of look the same and look nice on the shelf. And so there, and it is, I feel like this is just without looking at the page count, I feel like this is a bigger, thicker tome than previous books. I have Curse of Strahd sitting next to me, so let me, the Rime of the Frostmaiden book looks, just sitting on there, looks considerably thicker than Curse of Strahd does.
Yes.
I don't know if it's got the giant poster map version of the same map that was in the accessory set, the dice set. I'm not gonna punch that out now. I usually like to be real careful when I get those out to make sure I don't tear anything or what have you. But we are looking at a page count of 317 pages. 318 pages if you include the afterword by Chris Perkins in the back. That seems considerable. Let's see how that compares. So it's 256 pages for Curse of Strahd. So, an extra 50-some pages in Rime of the Frostmaiden. So that's cool. So yeah, like I said, we will have a more detailed. Oh, there's that picture of old Bitey. Look, you got a fish on the title page. We'll have our first look review later on. But yeah, so just looking at the table of contents, you've got sort of a little gazetteer section on the area of Tin Towns and Icewind Dale. And then you've got sort of the stories, the quests, and the things that happen there. And so there's a 7-chapter plus epilogue adventure, a bunch of Icewind Dale specific trinkets. That's a nice little thing that they've started doing. Can you stop, please? That they've done in a lot of adventures that I think people like, and it's fairly easy to put together. They don't do them on all the adventures, but like Curse of Strahd has its own special trinket table. It's a fun little easy thing to throw in that takes up a page. They've got a section on character secrets, so I know that this story has this whole section on secrets. It's similar to in Descent into Avernus, there was the dark secret idea, right? So this one has a similar sort of thing going on. There are, I believe there's photocopiable cards, and so you can randomly determine through cards what your character's secret is. Your character is actually a doppelganger, or your character is secretly a super fan of Dris Duerden. So lots of different sort of things. And then there's the Monsters Appendix is actually really long. I'm still flipping through it. Oh, that is the cutest little mind flayer ever, isn't it? Both of those. Look at those mind flayers. Oh,
They're mimics.
they're super cute.
They're not mind
Okay.
flayers.
Shh, you're interrupting, and you don't know what you're talking about. They are both mind flayers. I know what it says. I also know what I'm talking about. I can tell you why that is, why those are both mind flayers in a little bit. And then just a handful of pages on magic items to finish things off. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I thought there was also going to be a new... Was it new character options in here? Oh, that's interesting. I don't think that was on purpose. My book's got a color streak right through the first page here. Oh, the fifth page, but the first page of the chapter. So something happened in the printing. Not a big deal, not unreadable. I'm not going to complain about it. Oh, there's character secrets described there. I thought... Oh, yeah, okay. So there's information here about Goliath. So you can play Goliath as a player's character. As our Goliaths, Appendix C has a description of Goliaths and their traits. You may want to allow them in your game. So did they put the Goliath traits in the creature section? That's a different way of doing that. They did. So the Goliath player character options are here in the middle of the monsters appendix. Like it's just a bunch of monster stats. And then there's the traits for Goliath as a playable race. And then a stat block for some Goliaths. That's an I'm not sure if I like that or not. I mean, I suppose it makes some sense in terms of keeping the page count down, but I definitely don't usually look at the monsters appendix for information that is useful for players, for player options. So that'll be interesting. So I think that's the unboxing of the review materials that were sent from Wizards of the Coast for Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. We'll do a first look video of the adventure itself here in probably a week or so here on Twitch, and then shortly thereafter at thetomeshow.com as a podcast. So I think that's it. Hope you got what you wanted out of there.